Morning. So I can tell you right now, today is not going to be an enjoyable day because it is hot as soup. I've been up since 5 a.m. It's now 9:07. I've been running around doing chores, feeding the chicks, checking all my raccoon traps. The past couple days I've had a skid steer out here, and I still have it here. I've been working gravel roads, but one thing I did was, since I have it for a week, I get both buckets on this skid steer. I get the bucket with teeth and a smooth bucket. My upper field, a year and a half ago, we had David come over and he ran a plow and it was too aggressive and it's just real bumpy. We like to cut our fields. So I have a tow behind, a DR Power 44T Pro tow behind cutter, and we cut our fields quite often. But to cut that field is a nightmare. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to try and flatten out a little bit, and while I was doing that, I wanted to go ahead and put down some seed. So let me explain the steps that I did over there, and I'll walk you through some of the things we do around here. I grabbed the skid steer and I grabbed the tooth bucket and I ran that field, just dragging it and dragging it and dragging it. And then I dragged it the other way to get those humps down. Then I went out with seed and I put out clover, turnip, and brassica. Then I got the bucket, smooth bucket, and I tilted it down slightly and I dragged that whole field, so sort of cover up that field. We've been in a horrible drought, and you want, if you're going to plant food plots for deer, especially in the summer, play the weather game. You've got to watch that weather and wait for a rain event coming in and go out there and hit that seed before a rain event. Trust me, that's the only way to do it. If you're only going to plant one thing, I would say plant clover. We plant clover all over this place. I have over here by this cabin, every night my camera goes off and I have probably 20 deer just walking through here. I'll have over 100 deer up in those upper fields. Matter of fact, I've had 5 8-point or better bucks standing shoulder to shoulder up in that field. Maybe I can find that picture for you. Down at the pond, I have deer down here watching me. We have 7 feed stations with corn feeders that we maintain all year. Basically 90% of this property is tuned for the wildlife. We had a raccoon infestation. We used to have turkeys. There are turkeys across the street. Well, the raccoons got in here and basically were killing our turkey population. Over the past 13, 14 months, the count is up to 115 raccoons we've taken off this back property. It's getting hard to catch raccoons, which is what we want to do, especially now that we got chickens up here. So today I'll just run you through what I'm doing up there. I'll put up some footage. I'm getting ready to go cut the middle field, and I went online, it's Sunday, and I realized that my brassica and my turnip are not, my turnip and my radish are not going to be here till Friday, and I got a thunderstorm coming in tonight. So I went online to Tractor Supply and I ordered some turnip and some stuff so I could go up there and cut this and seed it and get it in the ground for this thunderstorm, because we have been really dry. Okay, so it's 10:20. That field looks really good. I want to get some more water on that, even though I'm hoping we have a thunderstorm tonight. I got to re-stretch my hose over to my main switch. This field is all cut. Man, it looks great. I've got seed coming today that I'm going to put out here, hopefully for the thunderstorm. If not, I can irrigate it. And then the roadway over there, I trimmed all the roadway, and then I trimmed that backfield behind the garden too. So anyways, we're getting there. All right, pending no hose blowouts or disasters, my pond is here. My main switching station, my 2-inch high pressure pump. And I'll take you up and I'll show you. We're running 1,000 feet up to that upper field. This is why I can actually do this in the summertime. Coming up the end of June. Got to make sure I got good coverage. This whole field is all being watered right now from pond. I'm really not in the mood to do this, I'll be honest, to go up here and walk this field and seed. It's 1:45, but I can tell right now there's so much humidity and energy. We're gonna have a thunderstorm tonight, and this is the time to get out and seed. I'll put a link in the description below to the clover, the turnip, and the radish that I plant. But my order is not coming in till Friday, so I went online and did a same-day order from Tractor Supply. I just bought some small bags just to get it out. I'll caution you, if you're only going to put one thing out, put clover. I've had clover survive down into the teens in the wintertime, easy. And in this drought, the only thing that's really surviving is clover. Some people are going to ask, is there any exact type of like turnip or radish or anything that I plant? Honestly, Amazon, most of it comes from like Hancock seed. The key to it is repetitive seeding, catching that right weather cycle where you're going to get some rain and this stuff can establish. You know, you can buy the best seed in the world, but if you put it out and then you got 3-week drought, it ain't going to grow. I mean, this is just Imperial Whitetail tall tine tuber. That's what they had in stock that I could get today. And then they had Top Shelf Brassica blend. I just had to have seed. I had to get seed out tonight. I got that organic matter on the ground from the cut. I got a thunderstorm coming in. The key to this is, and I'll show you here in a second, is this year we got tired of running hoses. So down at my pond, starting at my pond, we had trenched in the ground, below ground, 2-inch hard PVC pipe, 540 feet right up to here. I have a switching station right here. On that switching station, I can send water to that big sprinkler, irrigation sprinkler, or I can send it up here and water this field, or I can switch out that line and water that top field. So we have, during droughts, we have the only green fields around in this whole area, and the deer just pack in here. I mean, I finally went ahead and put a test cage up so I can see how much they're eating, because this field over here, that field they've just been destroying over here like crazy. Holy cow. I have to change shirts again. So I put out 2 bags of that. That covered that whole field, and now I'm going to put out this Top Shelf made in the USA. What's funny is I'm walking back and forth, and one of my little baby deer is standing in the road watching me over here. So last year, if you follow my channel at all, that upper area in there, we bush hogged all that and cleared it out. Well, come to find out, so many of the bucks transition in this whole area through here. We decided to let that back area grow all up, and they feel more comfortable in there later in the day. And so now I have 2 turkeys, and I have probably 3 or 4 baby deer that bed up in there all the time. But I want to show you something. I mean, we put a lot of money and time into this property just for the wildlife. So there's a circle in here that's green. And man, let me tell you what, where that circle stops, the irrigation, you can just see it. It's just totally dried out. It's crazy. I was even showing John that. I said, dude, you can see where the water hits it. Water is life, man. 3.5 weeks with no rain. This place was a dust bowl. And so far, this week, we've gotten 2 rainfalls, about 1/10 of an inch each. I'm just hoping tonight is a nice downpour. If you do any kind of prepping at all, if you do any preparedness or you're worried about whatever, one of the nice things about this is come fall and winter time, we literally had probably 2,000 to 3,000 purple top turnips in this whole field. I mean, you would walk along and twist your ankle in this field and over in that field. It would feed 10 families all winter long. Leafy greens, you can eat the leafy greens, they're delicious. And then the actual turnips themselves. So I've never made this I've never tried this top shelf brassica, but I got it because it has that daikon radish, the big white radish, which I like. If you walk 100 miles in my boots. Ah. So just a couple of summertime food plot tips. Food plots in the summertime is a gamble. So don't invest everything into one seeding. What I would do is I would go out with light seedings. Anytime that you see a rain event moving in, go out with a seeding. Put out a light seeding. Go out next week or 2 weeks from then, hit it again, light seeding. Do it in stages. It's all a gamble. It's all based on the weather. If you got a 3 or 4 week drought come in, it's going to be tough. Next rule, if you're only going to plant one thing, I would plant clover. It's nitrogen fixing to the soil, number one, but number two, it's really tough. We have found that clover will be out here even in the drought, rock hard. We've got clover out here that's still green, and it's perennial, so it'll come back year after year. The next tip is I would probably, if you have bare dirt, yes, you can go with something like rye or cereal rye or winter or summer type wheats, but I would avoid grasses. We found that when we put out grasses in our field, we did a cereal rye, man, it just overtook that whole thing. It's fine for the winter time, but it really overtakes. We had to keep cutting it down and cutting it down to allow this leafy green, which is what the deer want. And that's really, if you want to put out something that's crazy, put out some leafy greens, especially in the fall, because they absolutely love it. That's it, guys. Just wanted to do a few tips. A couple of you guys have asked, and talk to you later. Doc.